All right, Rock Addicts, this is DJ Rem from Rock Addict Radio, and I have Jay from the band Mortor on the line. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. I want to, first off, thank you for taking time to chat with me, and I just want to let you know that I've been getting great feedback from you guys when I play you on my show, and that led me to adding you to the 24/7 stream so people can hear you every day. So you guys rock.
Oh, right on. Right on, man. Well, we appreciate it a lot, man. You know, we've got the record, and we're trying to put it out as much as possible. So, you know, when people like yourself get out there and they just, you know, help us push it, it means a lot, man. So we really appreciate it, man.
Not a problem whatsoever. When I hear a band that I think is shredding, I will play it as much as possible. So
Shredtastic, man.
Exactly. Okay, let's start. If you could mention yourself and the other members of the band and what everybody's spots are, we can start there.
Well, I'm Jay Cross. I'm the drummer. Yolande Lafreniere. As you might notice, there are a lot of French names. Most of our band is from Gatineau or Quebec in Canada. That's the French land of Canada, so to speak. So we got Yolande Lafreniere on vocals. We've got David Paquette on rhythm guitar. So she's the guy that does a lot. Well, he's kind of one of the core members. He's been around. He's the guy that came up with the band. Antonin Fuzz, who's our lead guitar, and Jonathan Boulet, who is our bass player.
Very cool. So are you guys living up there right now?
Pardon me?
Are you guys living up there in Quebec right now then, or are you in the States?
We're in Ottawa.
Okay.
Gatineau. Half of our members are in Ottawa. Half of them are in Gatineau.
Okay.
Ottawa it's in between two different provinces, Ontario and Quebec.
Right.
So we've got both sides on us.
Okay.
In Ottawa right now.
No, that's cool. Have you ever been to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario?
Yeah, a while ago. I have.
Okay, and the only reason I ask is because right across the border is Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and that's where I grew up and was born.
Oh, okay. Okay, right on, man.
So when I moved, not to get off on a side tangent, but when I moved, I live in the lower peninsula of Michigan now, but when I moved downstate, everyone I came in contact with thought I was from Canada.
Yeah, fair enough. You're like, Sault Ste. Marie, everyone's like, oh, you're Canadian there, eh?
Yep. Well, and yeah, and it's funny, I just heard you say A, and I still say that all the time, so it's awesome.
Good word.
Yes, it is. Okay, so how long has the band been together?
The band has been around since, I believe, 2007. I've been with the band for about a year and a half, so that's why you hear the pause in my voice. But a little while. I'm just trying to see if I can see the record. Yeah, anyway, so the band's been around for a little while. They did Metal Ride back in 2010, and then we just put together Shoot 'Em Up, which is obviously 2012. The band, in terms of Shoot 'Em Up, it's a pretty much a very different lineup. Metal Ride had David Paquette and Yolande on it, but the rest of the members changed for Shoot 'Em Up, which is why I think you hear that, not to say like a complete rebirth of the sound, but that's why you can really hear a big distinction between the first record and the second record. And, you know, the new lineup is really, like, we're not going anywhere. We're all really, really passionate about what we're doing. And because of that, we really wanted to step up the game and Shoot 'Em Up. And that's why you hear the suddenly, you know, blazing drums, blazing guitar solos, and powerful-ass bass lines.
Very good, very good. And so what do you guys got going right now? Or you have some live shows lined up? What's going on with you guys?
Oh, right now we've just got... we just came back from Toronto and Ottawa with Creator just the other week, and then we're just doing a little bit more writing right now. We've got Montreal and another date coming up shortly, and then we're basically just trying to figure out some touring plans. We want to go down to the States and, you know, visit you guys down in Michigan. We want to check out New York. We want to check out more of Canada's East, so we're just trying to figure out what the best way to do that is, and just kind of sit back and figure out, you know, how can we visit all these people that are telling us that they're enjoying the music.
Definitely. Okay, well, if you guys end up somewhere in Southwest Michigan area, you make sure you let me know you're coming, okay?
Oh, we'll be giving you a show. Don't you worry about that, man.
Okay, very, very cool. Okay, so this current album, Shoot 'Em Up, where did you guys record this at?
We were incredibly lucky. Actually, hearing what they were doing for Shoot 'Em Up is one of the reasons I joined the band. They came up to me, they said, listen, we need a drummer right now. We've got a record coming up. We're doing it at Garage Studios in Montreal. We're going to be recording the drums at the Sound Academy down in Montreal, and it's going to be done. Matthew Marcotte from Augury was engineering everything, and Christian Donaldson, from Cryptopsy, was doing the whole mixing mastering thing. So my jaw dropped when I heard that. And it was when you listen to the record and you're like, wow, the sound quality is really, really there. That's why we had some really amazing folks working with us. The studio we were at was just absolutely beautiful, and we also were relentless. Dave, we do a lot of pre-prods ourselves, and we have Pro Tools, we have all those tools, so we really go through it, learn how to do it right, and we were meticulous as hell with this new record, which is why it sounds the way it does.
Yeah, I think you said shred-tastic, and that's pretty much sums it up. It's killer.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, how long did it take from the beginning of writing this album to getting through the recording process? How long did that take?
Well, one thing about Mortor is it never stops. So in 2010, when Metal Ride was put out, the writing for Shoot 'Em Up had already begun. So it probably took a good year and a half to put together the different ideas for Shoot 'Em Up, and then we took another year to record, mix, and master it, because, as said, we were really, really meticulous with it. If you hear the pre-prods that we put together for this album, I remember I showed it to some different people, and most people thought it was a finished product. So we really, really were picky with what we wanted, so we worked with the best, and we weren't happy until we had absolutely the best.
Very good. And then along the same lines of the album Shoot 'Em Up, so the cover for the Shoot 'Em Up album, who designed that? Because it is totally amazing.
Yeah, we're really, really happy with the cover. It was done by a guy, Daniel Baudin, also out in Montreal. Kind of a funny thing about Mortor, everything we do seems to be out of Montreal. But he's from Septral Illustrations, and he's just a phenomenal artist. I had worked with him before because I play in a second band, Accursed Spawn, and we got him to do our artwork for that album, and it was the most brutal. We're an extremely brutal death metal band, and it was just the most vile thing I'd ever seen. It's this guy with his face blown off into a toilet, and it's all this really messed up stuff. So I saw that, and I was like, damn, we got to get him to do the Mortor one. And no, he did an amazing job. He's a phenomenal artist. And the one cool thing about him is everything is actually drawn. Like a lot of time these days, you get art that's just completely CG done. And this guy, he drew it, and then he fills in all the layers and stuff like that, which is why it has that extra little bit of originality and flavor to it.
Yeah, it's very cool, and I have to tell you, I totally respect, and I have a whole extra level of appreciation for bands when they come out with an album cover that is of the quality as yours is, just because to me as a fan it means a lot, because an album, music's art, and I expect that cover to be art too, and not just a picture of the band, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's basically that's how we take it too. As I said earlier, we take what we do really seriously. We're really, really picky, and we wouldn't want to give people a crappy album cover, because you need to pick up that album, you need to look at it, and then want to listen to it. And if we shortchanged people on the album cover, they might not be as likely to look into it and go, oh crap. And then of course, the sound quality matches and if not exceeds the quality of the album cover. And that was, that's always our goal, is to make sure everything is there for the fans, not to shortchange them in any way, shape, or form, and just to make it as cool of a experience, as cool of a product as possible.
Right, and I don't know what you guys' plans are, but if you stick with the same kind of style of art from cover to cover, eventually people just know who you are by the cover. They don't even, you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly, man. That's what Cannibal did since they started. You know, they've had one guy that's done all their stuff, and you know, when you see a Cannibal Corpse cover, when you see a Cannibal Corpse cover, you know it's a Cannibal Corpse cover.
Yep, it's just like for me, my favorite covers are the Megadeth ones, and you always know it's Megadeth.
Yeah. Oh, exactly, man.
So very cool. Anyways, I'm done ranting about that, but I do totally appreciate the fact that the artwork. So it's very cool.
Right on, man.
So how often do you guys get together and practice? Are you guys able to practice quite a bit?
Oh, yeah. Like, I know I said that we're in 2 different provinces, but that's the beauty of Ottawa is literally if I walked for 15 minutes from my house, I'd be in a new province. I'd be in Quebec.
Right.
That's just how the city works. So we jam every single week. Right now, we get together on Sundays and just kind of hash stuff out. We do a little bit of writing. We do a little bit of, you know, work on just mending songs, you know, that extra 10%, and then we do lots of just jamming the set, making sure everything's as good as possible because, you know, when we play live, we like to go wild, so we want to make sure that every song that we play is kind of second nature to us.
Very good. And then, so this question is kind of more for you personally. For you growing up, and I guess even these days, you know, what influences have you had that have made you want to do this and keep doing this?
Well, I think, you know, growing up, especially, you know, I think like most metalheads, you just kind of find one band after another, the next heavier thing, the next heavier thing. In terms of, like, I can actually nail it down to Misery Index Descent EP. I remember hearing that back in the day, and that's what made me want to play death metal drums. I just heard it, and I was like, Kevin Talley's the man. And then I learned how to play drums. And, you know, in terms of what keeps us going, Canada has an amazing scene. Like, the amount of quality bands coming out of, you know, Ottawa or Montreal or Vancouver or so on and so forth, it's phenomenal. So it really inspires you because when your peers, you know, are always stepping it up, you have to make sure that you do that too. And, you know, we've got tons of great bands coming in. As I mentioned, Mortor just opened for Creator in Ottawa, and that was just, you know, a sold-out 300 people going apeshit wild the whole time, and that was really inspiring. And then, you know, with my other band, Curses Spawn, we just opened for Vital Remains last week, and that was also just incredibly intense. So you get these opportunities that you know are unique and that you wouldn't ever want to put down. And then beyond that, it's just the fans of metal are so passionate and so cool. Like, I love Mortar fans; they're the most awesome people in the universe. So it's like we would never want to disappoint them. If a Mortar fan ever told me they didn't like an album of ours, I would be like, shit, what did we do wrong?
Right.
So all those things combined, you know, they just really make you want to do a good job. They make you want to excel. They make you want to exceed, and they make you want to, you know, one-up yourself.
Exactly. And I tell you what, there are 4 bands out of Canada right now that I totally dig. Number 1 is Mortor. Number 2 is Titan's Eve. Love those guys. Number 3 is The Worship.
Yep.
And number 4 is a band called Unleashed Archers. Those are 4 Canadian bands that I listen to every week.
And actually, 2 of them, Titans Eve and Unleashed, are both from Vancouver, so there you go.
Yep, very cool.
They're both really, Titans Eve are really nice guys. They came down through Ottawa, like, I think a year and a half ago, and I remember chatting to them then. Really, really cool dudes. I think they're up in Europe right now with Arch Enemy.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Okay, so was there anybody in your family you get your musical talent from? Anybody that was really into music that kind of, aside from, you know, listening to metal and getting influences that way, any personal influences in your family growing up or anything?
For my own part, not really. I'm kind of the like back in the day. I know my grandma used to play piano, and that I always thought that was really cool. But I'd never actually heard her play. You know, she just wasn't able to anymore. So honestly, I just kind of picked it up myself. I just thought it was a really cool thing to do. I had a bunch of friends when I was like 14, 15 that all were trying to start up, you know, bands and whatnot, and they always didn't have a drummer. So that's literally, I think I joined a band before I had a drum set. And then I needed to learn because I was in a band.
Very cool. What kind of kit do you have? What do you like to play?
Right now I have a Tama Star Classic kit. It's a maple drum set, and it just sounds like $1 million. The thing is just heavy as hell. It's got a lot of tonality to it, so I can really play with it. I'm one of those kind of like drummer nerds that likes dealing with the different sounds that you can produce. So, I don't look at a drum as like, okay, here's my snare, and this is the one sound I can get out of it. I like having a drum that really has a lot of depth to it, so you can, here's the 20 different sounds I can get out of my snare, and, same with cymbals and so on and so forth. And I think that probably influences how I play a little bit in terms of my setup. I use a lot of different cymbals and all that sort of stuff. I mean, Sabian is a Canadian company, so I try and use Sabian as much as I can to support good old Canada. But, yeah, Tama Star Classic, I've got it on a Pearl rack, and then a mixture of Sabian and a little bit of Zildjian cymbals.
Very good, very good. I tell you what, other than the American National Anthem, the Canadian is the next one I know because I watched so much CBC growing up.
I love the CBC. 91.3 FM is CBC Radio 1 is amazing. I was actually on there not too long ago talking about the opera, oddly enough.
Nice. Okay, so where did the name Mortor come from for the band? How did that come to be? Do you know?
So everyone keeps asking us that, and for the longest time, I had no idea. So I finally asked David where the name came from.
Right.
And it has a double meaning. Obviously, Mortor, like the mortar cannon.
Right.
And then in French, there's also the word mort, like death, and that's kind of the other aspect. That's why it has M-O-R and M-O-R-T-O-R instead of M-O-R-T-A-R. That being said, I heard a review recently, and there's this guy that was convinced that the reason we called ourselves Mortor was the first half Mor was in Morbid Angel, and the last half was Tor as in Creator. I thought that was awesome. So that's not actually the reason we're called Mortar.
Right.
But whoever wants to believe that, I'm totally down.
It's amazing the things people come up with, hey?
I was like, damn, man, that's way more creative than I could have been with a name.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, where can people go to find out more about the band? What website, social networking places do you guys use?
We've got, I think the key one for us is we do a lot of stuff on Facebook just because that's an easy way to reach fans directly, and it's an easy way to have a conversation with fans too. I know a lot of bands will just, post stuff, and a lot of other bands will post stuff and then comment back, and that's what we really like doing. We like to interact with our fans. We like to ask questions of them, be like, so what metal bands do you like? What this do you like? What's your favorite venue? What's your this? What's your that? Just so we can know more about them and accommodate them as best as possible. So if you want to have a conversation with us, join us down on Facebook. Other than that, we're on, the standard, like MySpace, and I think we have a Twitter, but I don't know how much we use that.
Right.
And then we also have a website, mortor.net, and then for people who want to hear our music, there's a couple tracks on YouTube, and then also mortor.bandcamp.com. I think we have the full album streaming right now, just to, commemorate the album coming out, and then you can actually buy the album there too, and I think we have one free download for Under the Flag on the Bandcamp as well. That's probably, if you want to hear more about Mortor, go on our Bandcamp page, and if you want to talk to Mortor, go on our Facebook page, like us there, and then, post a comment and say, hey guys, what's up?
Very good. And do you guys have any merchandise for sale anywhere?
I put together a proper internet retail, like a big cartel or something like that. I know, as I said, we do have stuff on the Bandcamp.
Okay, people, if you're looking for Mortor merchandise, Google it, find it, buy it, support the band. There you go. Okay, so this question is more just for you. If I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player from you, or however you like to listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
Well, I'm a DJ in Ottawa, so I always have. I try and keep up on the new stuff. So I know, like, the new Cattle Decapitation I've been listening to a ton. It's just a phenomenal record. We just played with Creator, so I've been listening to Creator a lot. The new Misery Index record, it's not really new anymore, but I love it so much that I still refer to it as that. Heirs to Thievery, new Decapitated, all that sort of stuff. Plus, there's tons of really good Ottawa bands, so you'll find a lot of that in my iPod. You'll see, Aggressor or Placenta Fascia or From the Deep or, any of those bands. Signs of Chaos, Fumigation, so on and so forth. Seated Among Seven Hills. I can just name them off all day, but you'll see a lot of new releases, and then probably a lot of bands from Ottawa or even from Toronto, like Fatality and that sort of stuff.
Okay, very good. So, how do you guys define success for the band? What are your goals for the next couple of years? Where do you guys hope to be?
I think our biggest goal is to just try and reach as many people as possible with our music. You know, we're hearing good reviews, and that really inspires us to make sure that we can get it on as many people's doorsteps as possible. So, you know, going along with that, we really want to go all the way through Canada's East. We want to go down to the States as soon as we can. And then, obviously, just to help us, you know, do all that sort of stuff, we're really trying to look and see if there's perhaps a label out there that, you know, might be able to help us figure out how to do some of this stuff and just, you know, support us with the distribution network. So probably just those, you know, either, you know, touring and just, you know, searching for a label and that sort of stuff.
Okay. And to kind of lead off that, what sets you guys apart from the other 10,000 bands out there trying to do the same thing as you? Why should people come to your shows? Why should people buy your album?
The finished product, the record itself. I think Mortor, you know, I joined the band, so I have a bit of a different opinion on them because I actually used to book them back in the day. And I've always found the band has a different approach. You know, where Mortor doesn't sound like, you know, another Cannibal Corpse carbon copy. You know, we try to blend a lot of different stuff in our music. And that's one thing we've been hearing a lot from people who are enjoying the new record is, you know, we've got really heavy songs, and then we also have really thrashy songs, and then we also have, you know, a slow song thrown in there, and then we have a groovy song in there, and then, like, you'll see elements of sludge in there. And so it's really, if you like metal, you'll probably really enjoy the record just because we try and touch on a lot of different aspects. You know, we even have the last song on the album even has a very evident punk influence. And, you know, there definitely are bands out there doing that right now, but there's not a ton. So I think that kind of sets us apart. And then in terms of our live performance, you know, we're really, really fun to see live because that's our biggest focus. That's what matters the most to us. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a band that stares at your guitar when you play, but that's not us. We, you know, go wild. Our bass player and our guitar player like, you know, play fighting on stage. I've watched our bass player slap their heads on it in the middle of a solo, and there's not a lot of bands that are willing to allow their members to do that.
Right.
It's fun, you know. We just really enjoy ourselves on stage, and I think that the fact that we really enjoy ourselves helps, you know, the fans really enjoy themselves. So it's just an awesome experience, man.
Okay, well, if Mortor comes to your town, go see them because it sounds like they put on a great show, and you'll probably dig them. So do it.
Come down, have some fun, drink some beers, and enjoy some good old Canuck-style extreme metal.
That's right, eh? So, what is the craziest thing that's ever happened at a show you guys have done?
I think my favorite moment, or the crazy moment right now, is that Creator, we were filming for a music that we're going to be putting out probably in October, and I just remember, because we had the cameras filming the entire show, and then at one point, our singer is like, okay, guys, you see these cameras everywhere? This is the song. And as soon as he said that, you must have seen like 50 buff dudes throw their arms in the air, and this is a sold-out, you know, 300 capacity venue, and they just charged through this like sea of people, just like bulls going through a crowd. I remember I just started laughing my ass off. I almost screwed up the beginning of the song just because I was looking. I was like, what the hell is about to happen?
Right.
So I think that part is just one of my favorites, just seeing people go absolutely wild and just, I mean, that happens every show, but that one was just really funny to me. I've got a buddy who's a trained fighter, and I asked him what he thought of the mosh pit, and he told me he couldn't even get into the mosh pit because he was crushed against the front. There was too many people for him to push back, and that guy can like beat the crap out of anyone. So when he told me that, I was like, damn, that's an impressive crowd we had going.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, this next question is the most important question I'm going to ask you in this interview. So, are you ready? Who spends the most time in front of the mirror getting ready for a show?
I don't think any of our members are obsessed with their appearance. I think if one of us looks at a mirror before starting a show, then that might be impressive. But really, none of us.
Okay.
That's one thing I you don't have to deal with that a lot in extreme metal, I don't think. Or maybe you do. We don't, at least.
It depends on the band, dude. This last band I talked to, they called out. Sometimes bands will call out people really fast, so I definitely know if it's true.
Yeah, no one.
Yep, that works. That works. Okay, anything else you would like everyone that'll listen to this interview to know about you guys? Anything that I have not asked you want to make sure people know?
Man, but really just, as I said before, like, Mortor fans are really, really cool. Since joining the band, I've always really appreciated that. So that's one message I really try and get out, is that, we really appreciate the fact that people like our music. People seem to be really into it, and that's really cool, man. It's awesome. I love being able to have an opportunity like this to talk to someone that's just into our music. And then it's really cool because then, in this day and age of social media, everyone can share it and so on and so forth. And, it's hard to say or to explain how much we appreciate it all the time, but we really do. At the end of the day, we make music for ourselves, but the fact that people are into it, the fact that people are passionate about it, really means a lot to us. So just, if you own the record, then a huge thank you to you, because that's what allows us to do this.
Exactly, and I totally get that, because when I have people hop in the chat and tell me the songs you've been playing are great show, I mean, that right there works for me. So I can just imagine. I can't even imagine, like, when you're on stage and the crowd is singing along and headbanging to one of your tunes and just totally into it. Can't even imagine the energy you get to pull from that.
Oh, exactly, man. It's phenomenal. Having passionate fans like we do, it really just, it's the icing on the cake. I love playing music. I'd play music even if everyone hated it.
Right.
That's certainly what happened when I first started playing music. But, being able to have these passionate fans that we do, it's super cool. So we love our fans, and we appreciate them a lot.
Very good. Okay, the very last thing I'd like you to do is make a couple of radio tags for me, if you don't mind. So the first one can just say, hey, this is Jay from Mortor, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
From Mortor, you are listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Perfect. And then the second one, same thing, but throw in there that you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
From Mortor, you're listening to rockaddictradio.com. This is REM, the DJ of the day.
Cool, dude. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for throwing us on your spin. And much appreciated, man. Yep,
you got it. Okay, well, thanks again, and I'll keep following you guys. Keep in touch. If anything come up and coming new is out there that you want to make sure people know, make sure you hit me up, okay?
And I know you're down in the U.S., so this doesn't necessarily work, but I'm a Canadian, so I have to be polite. So happy Turkey Day on Monday. I know it's different in the U.S., but it's Turkey Day or Thanksgiving on Monday for us. So regardless, I wish you a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. That's cool, man.
Take care, bro.
All right, take care, man. Peace.